As we look at the things going on in the world right now, there's some things that we need to understand about stress and how it works. Having stressful events in our life is bad enough, but that's not the only thing we have to deal with. Our brains don't really draw a huge distinction between what is happening and what we anticipate happening. And so we also deal with the stress that comes from what we imagine is going to happen. That's a real stressor in our life as well. So let's look at an example from the news going on right now. We have the war in Iran, and that is a great stressor to a lot of people, particularly if you have loved ones that are serving in the military that could be deployed. That is a stressful event. It also affects our economy and it creates a lot of controversy. And so a lot of people are feeling a great deal of stress because of that particular news event. But now we see ground troops moving into place for a possible deployment. Now, at this time, as I record this, the morning of March 31st, 2026, there are no ground troops invading Iran that we are aware of. And no plans to deploy ground troops have been announced. In fact, President Trump has said that the war is over, that the military objectives have been accomplished. And it has been said by administration officials that any movement of troops is simply giving us an opportunity to negotiate from a position of power, which may be true. And we are told that negotiations are ongoing, and at times we've been told they are going well. Those are all the things that we are being told. However, our brains don't just accept that, even if you are a supporter of the administration. If you are not, well, then you probably don't accept it from the outset. But the reality is, when we see movement of troops into a place where they could be deployed, our anticipation moves that way. It is easy to imagine that this next step is to deploy those ground troops, which would put lots of lives at risk. And that is extremely stressful, particularly for those, as I said, who have loved ones that could be hurt or killed in that fighting. And so our brains move that direction. We have anticipatory stress, not just about what's going on in reality, but as we anticipate what could happen, our brains jump to that place and our bodies react in stress almost as if it is happening. So it's not just the stress we have to deal with in reality. We also, as we see things happening in the news, we will naturally react with stress if there is something we anticipate happening that is stressful for us, that we dread. That's the way our brains work. It is constantly on guard to try to protect us, to try to see something coming that would hurt us, that would upset us, and be ready for it. And so our brains are always scanning, looking for what could happen. And when we watch the news and we see these things happening, it will cause stress, even though it is not happening now and may not happen. It may never become a reality, but that doesn't matter to our brains. Our bodies are going to react with stress when we anticipate the possibility of ground troops going in if that means something to us. And we can apply that to other things as well. When our brains anticipate something bad happening, something dreadful happening, our bodies react with stress, even though it is not currently happening and potentially could not happen. Doesn't matter. We still react with stress. And so we need to be aware of this as we're watching the news, as we're seeing things unfold. Be aware that that anticipation is real stress as well. And so take care of yourself. Make sure you get help. Make sure you have support around you, especially if you do have someone that is in the military now and could be deployed. Make sure you have that support. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Do all the self care stuff that everyone always talks about online. Look it up. Look up what self care is and how to do it, and take care of yourself and get help. Find a therapist, find a counselor. There is absolutely no shame whatsoever in getting help, even if in reality something hasn't happened yet, because our bodies react to that anticipatory stress. So get help, get support, take care of yourself because we are dealing with a lot of stress in reality, and our bodies react to the stress that we anticipate as well. That is also real stress. And that's today's insight.